Well, well, well. If you have spent any time on social media over the past 8 months, this story should not be surprising. But we now have official confirmation from the New York Times with their sources within the Israeli government that the Israeli government has been using social media to try and influence U.S. lawmakers with fake accounts. This is the stuff that Russia got criticized for. Yet, the Israeli government has been caught doing this. So, big headline here from New York Times. Israel secretly targets U.S. lawmakers with influence campaign on Gaza war. Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs ordered the operation, which used fake social media accounts urging U.S. lawmakers to fund Israel's military, according to official documents, according to officials and documents about the effort. So a portion of this story actually came out back in March from Israel-based newspaper Haaretz. Israeli influence operation targets U.S. lawmakers on Hamas UNRWA. Now, this is sort of the first part of the story because there is a little more that was discovered by the New York Times, but this didn't make much of a splash. I got to admit, I didn't see this story when it hit. There was, a lot of news happening concerning Gaza and Israel over the past 8 months, so it was easy to miss things. But this didn't make the splash that I thought it would have made, maybe because it was only Haaretz reporting this. But this was shared by Elamin on Twitter. This is part of the Haaretz investigation. So they discovered that there were three, and this is going to come up later on in the New York Times piece, three fake websites, essentially, that were pro-Israel sites that were repurposing, CNN articles, New York Times articles, but only discussing the pro-Israel portion of those articles. And essentially they created three websites out of this to share on Twitter, to share on Facebook, to share on Instagram, and to prop up to these U.S. lawmakers. And this is in addition to, of course, the fake accounts. So over 2,000 posts on topics surrounding what was going on, 43,700 followers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And again, this is at the time back in March. And this campaign, by the way, is still going on, at least on Twitter. We'll get to what Facebook has said. But 75% of the politicians or of targeted politicians were black Democratic lawmakers, 600 avatars, 58,000 tweets and posts. And you can see some of the fake, profile pictures here. This is I believe, a famous actress. So just these fake accounts to try and push this pro Israel propaganda. So Haaretz also, along with the New York Times, is reporting on this updated story. Their headline: Israel secretly targeted American lawmakers with Gaza war influence campaign. In an attempt to sway global public opinion on the war in Gaza, fake accounts and sites spread pro-Israel and Islamophobic content. The operation was orchestrated by Israel's Diaspora Affairs Ministry and run by a political campaigning firm. So, often other countries say, Russia, Iran, they will go through, at least it is suspected, that they go through private companies outside of the country to do this kind of thing. This is within the government of Israel, where this was orchestrated. And they hired a third-party firm called Stoic to administer these fake accounts and these fake sites. So they put $2 million toward it. As I said, they hired Stoic. This is a political marketing firm in Tel Aviv. And the campaign began in October and remains active, at least on Twitter. At its peak, it used hundreds of fake accounts that posed as real Americans on X, Facebook, and Instagram to post pro-Israel comments. The accounts focused, as I said, on U.S. lawmakers, and with posts urging them to continue funding the Israeli military. ChatGPT was used to power a lot of the fake messages, including the campaign that also created three fake English-language news sites. Now, as shared here on Twitter, this is, again, the point I made earlier, but so Russia does this and we get around-the-clock news coverage. Outrage from Dems, impeachment hearings, and so much more. Israel does it, and most people get this New York Times article, a bunch of their fake accounts defending the actions, and probably nothing else. I would hope that we're going to hear more about this. But based on the record of the U.S. government and their ongoing support of the Israeli government through this genocide, it is highly unlikely we are going to see any more come out of this. So some of the fictional accounts they pose as American students, concerned citizens, and local constituents. In at least 2 instances, accounts with profile photos of black men posted about being a middle-aged Jewish woman. On 118 posts in which the fake accounts shared pro-Israel articles, the same sentence appeared, quote, "I gotta reevaluate my opinions due to this new information." So I think it's fair to question, and they question in this piece as well, how effective this really was. But this adds to just the chorus of propaganda in favor of Israel as they are committing a genocide. Whether the impact is on the lawmakers is unclear, but there is a greater impact when it comes to the way a lot of these articles and just discussions around this issue are framed, and the impact that these sorts of accounts can have on even journalists when discussing these issues and discussing how there's conflicting opinions on this issue, when the reality is no, it is very much regardless of opinion, it is very clear what is going on. But when trying to gauge the public perception on this, if you have all these fake accounts spreading all this propaganda, that is going to have an impact on how some may view the discussions around this issue as being, as there being a two-sided view here, when in reality there isn't. So going on to say here, so Meta, which of course is Facebook, they caught this. They have removed 510 Facebook accounts, 11 Facebook pages, and 32 Instagram accounts, and 1 Facebook group tied to it. OpenAI, which is also owned by Meta, said that Stoic created fictional personas and biographies meant to stand in for real people on social media services used in Israel, Canada, and the U.S. So it isn't just the U.S. Canada was also targeted here to post anti-Islamic messages, and many of the posts remain on X. X or Twitter is just the absolute worst in terms of all the social media run companies. It is the worst because it is Elon Musk now, and there is just no oversight. They don't care at all. When Elon Musk first came into Twitter, his big thing was, I'm going to get rid of the bots. I'm going to get rid of all the bots. When at the time, yes, there were bots, but it was nowhere near the problem that it is now. It is much worse now. And when you even have Meta, which I'm not going to, is not a company I'm going to defend in any circumstance. You have even Meta catching this and putting an end to it while X is sitting by. It just shows you how terrible Elon Musk and Twitter are. But I am very much looking forward to seeing if there is any fallout from this, if there's any further investigation, if there are going to be any hearings about this, because this is the kind of thing that other countries have done, and there has been a big uproar about it. But now that you have the Israeli government doing it, very clearly doing it, I would hope we're going to see some fallout from this.